Vince McMahon wants more babyface and heel turns in WWE. Plus, are WWE bringing back a ranking system? And Drew McIntyre has responded to Tyson Fury's call-out. It's all in the wrestling news right now. The true essence of wrestling is going from goodie to baddie, baddie to goodie, the war between the two sides.
You know what else is the essence of professional wrestling?
Go on.
Not as smoothly as I was hoping.
That's right.
A
Chair
good turn.
spins.
A good turn.
Yeah, that's right. A good turn.
A good turn.
And do you know what? Sometimes turns aren't that good.
No.
For example, Xia Li on SmackDown on Friday. There was so much emphasis put on Xia Li being like a superhero and helping those who needed protecting.
She was a murderer, Tom. She took that school bully, she protected her family, but she murdered him. She took that man who wanted the rent, protected her family, but she murdered the man who wanted the rent. She was a murderer. But also a babyface.
Not anymore, because she turned around and said, now, no, and literally just in a promo, she decided to do a U-turn that was so big it was visible from space, and she just went, no one deserves protecting, now I'll just protect myself. This is a heel turn. It wasn't made massively clear on the commentary, but other outlets have since said, yeah, this is a heel turn. WrestlingNews.co say, expect more of this. Vince McMahon keen to see more babyface and heel turns, simply because Vince, according to WrestlingNews.co, feels that a fair amount of the talent right now is miscast. And he wants to move very quickly to change that.
Why would Vince McMahon feel that way?
Why
would Vince McMahon ever feel that way when it's his decision? Goodness me, Vince McMahon. We see those little ranking systems come out from behind the scenes, like who's the number one babyface, number two babyface, number three babyface. They need a lot more babyfaces.
That's it. So you don't want to be turning everybody wrong. No. You know, but then if some wrong uns making right uns, maybe, but we're going to see quite a bit of it in the next couple of weeks, I think, as they realign. I feel like every so often Vince McMahon just comes in and just goes, right, I know you've got all these things, but we're just going to sort that out, get that sorted. And Xia Li is the first part of this. There's a few people that I feel are due a turn that maybe Vince McMahon is eyeing up. I mean, we've already seen, while you were away, Happy Corbin became a top babyface.
Did he actually?
He did, yeah.
Shut the front door.
He's a babyface.
Is he actually?
I think he's facing... not Happy Corbin, sorry. Madcap Moss.
Madcap, oh yeah,
Madcap Moss, sorry. Happy Corbin's never a babyface, ever. Happy Corbin is the heel. Madcap Moss is the face.
Yes.
That's the right way around. Phew! That's
I was going to say, we saw that segment where they said co-rats in the balloons. That's the last thing I saw about SmackDown. And that's where the turn happened. It's fantastic stuff.
No. Madcap Moss is now your number one babyface on SmackDown. So that's a turn that's happened recently. And expect more of them. You mentioned rankings there about the babyface and heel rankings on shows that PW Insider put out t'other week. And they pop up every so often. More legitimate rankings, apparently, on the way.
Well, a big thing has happened. PW Insider notes that WWE sent out a survey to fans and asked them a series of questions which are going to build to the thing he just referenced there. But they also included questions like how many times a month they watch WWE programming, how often they attended events, if they're interested in NFTs, and if they're interested in knowing more behind the scenes. Also, they asked whether WWE fans would be interested in the introduction of a ranking system. WWE previously had power rankings on WWE.com. Those were the halcyon days of professional wrestling.
Yeah.
That was the essence of professional wrestling.
That's the essence of
power rankings on .com.
Because they weren't like, it wasn't like an official win-loss record like how AEW does it. It was more based on sort of performance that week.
What you did, yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter if Akira Tozawa won the 24/7 3 times. He got jilted at the altar. So down the rankings you go. It's more of a sports entertainment ranking system.
Seth Rollins in the summer of 2014, he went from 10th to 1st in one chest swing.
Basically, that's kind of what they want to do. They were talking about the power rankings from WWE.com. I tell you what it reminded me of, and I don't know whether this was like a fever dream that I've just thought was real. Do you remember WrestleDac?
I've never heard that before in my life.
WrestleDac, I'm sure. Now, please tell me in the comments if this was a genuine thing, where WWE, you basically, it was like almost like you stocks and shares, but with wrestlers.
Right.
Almost like a kind of a weird cross between sort of stocks and fantasy football, where you'd have like a team of wrestlers, and if they did well, then you get more points. Someone remembers WrestleDac, right?
What period of time was this?
Oh, gosh. Early noughties?
Oh. Bit before my time.
Early to mid noughties, maybe. Yeah, it might have been. I might have made it up though. I don't think I've made it up. Tell me if I've made it up. Thank you. I like the rankings coming back.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a lovely idea. WWE are coming back to the UK this week. 2 shows in the United Kingdom, just the 2. In London on Friday, the O2. They've announced the full card for that. Let's see how we feel about the card for the O2 in London. Aaliyah versus Shotzi.
Are they still on TV anymore?
Just about.
Yeah, good fun.
Bobby Lashley versus Sheamus.
With Ridge Holland. And there's a good reason for that there, Tom, because I was thinking, oh my God, where the hell is Butch? If there's no Butch, what's the point?
Don't worry, Butch is safe. He is in an Intercontinental title match with Ricochet and Sami Zayn.
Oh, that will be lovely.
Butch is going to get cheered. Gunther is facing Shinsuke Nakamura.
That's a match I want to see on TV.
Yeah.
Maybe they build. We obviously hear all the time that they test the waters for certain pay-per-view feuds and whatnot with live events, and hopefully this one is one we get to see come to fruition on a premium live event.
This would be lovely.
In the future.
The women's tag team titles defended. Sasha Banks and Naomi are facing Natalya and Shayna Baszler. RK Bro and the Usos in a Champions versus Champions match. Charlotte Flair defends the SmackDown Women's title against Ronda Rousey. And Roman Reigns defends the Uwu against Drew Woo in the main event. Drew's going to get a massive reaction in London.
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. I wonder whether this is the test to see how that goes, and then maybe the Principality.
I can't see Drew being the man to win the Uwu of Woo Woo.
Well, he won't win it on Thuwu because on Thursday they're in Newcastle. I like the fact, right? I'm very proud of the fact as an adopted Geordie that they're only doing 2 shows in the UK and one of them is over there.
Yeah, it's quite nice, isn't it?
Literally over there.
They've got one in the south. And then according to Michael Cole, one 3 miles up the road in a mining city called Newcastle.
Only 3 matches announced for that so far. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair for the women's title. RK Bro and the Usos once more. And Drew versus Bobby Lashley.
Babyface clash.
Yeah, babyface Lashley. Drew and Bobby Lashley.
Interesting.
I had a lovely chat with Drew McIntyre about it. You can watch it on the YouTube channel right now. Me and my boy Iron Drew. I asked whether Drew McIntyre would ever give a Claymore to Alan Shearer.
Why on earth would you ask such a question? I hope he said no.
He said no. They'd form a tag team.
Exactly.
It's fine. He's a big fan of Shearer.
He's SHIT scared of Shearer. He's Drew McIntyre.
Nor would he Claymore Jimmy Nail.
Well,
just threw some names at him.
I'm trying to think of a reason why he would Claymore Jimmy Nail.
Well, he just says he'd like to instead form a tag team and then they sing Crocodile Shoes.
Yeah.
He also thinks Alan Shearer would have a really good Claymore.
He would. Wait, look, ask Neil Lennon. People who were a fan of the EPL in the 1990s will know about that one.
That is a lovely EPL reference. One person he did tell me he would give a Claymore to is Tyson Fury.
Oh.
Tyson had some words to say about Drew, didn't he, after his win in Wembley?
He did. He was speaking about a potential return to the WWE, and he said, "Don't rule me out of fighting there. You might see me at SummerSlam. I got to speak to Vince and the boys." Vince and the boys. Vince and the boys. maybe.
So yeah, Dalton Castle's managers.
Maybe make this happen. I know Drew McIntyre has been saying a lot of things about me. I'd love to knock him out. I'd love to be at Cardiff. I'd love to be back at centre stage in the UK. Of course, he had his big retirement due, basically, at Wembley Stadium on Saturday night. He smacked Dillian White in the face. It was a good time. He was like, I promised me wife Paris the Deontay Wilder trilogy would be my last, but here we are in Wembley. Now this has got to be the end, otherwise I've lied to my wife for a second time.
But apparently she's given him clearance to have another one. Because I think because they've just said, here's £1 bajillion to do another. And Paris, who is a sensible human being, has gone, you know what, maybe one more wouldn't hurt. I genuinely think if somebody said to Alex, do you want to put Tom in a boxing match against Tyson Fury? And she'd go, no, because he'd get hurt. Here's £1 bajillion. He'd be all right, wouldn't he?
I'd be on the road to Tyson Fury being the Terry Funk of the boxing world.
Oh, could you imagine?
17 million retires.
Forever.
You big dosher.
So, Drew getting a name drop in the press conference after the boxing on the weekend. How did Drew respond?
I don't know, Tom.
I'll tell you how he responded.
Got it at the bottom there. Sorry, I missed that one.
Iron Drew said, biggest win of his career, and he can't keep my name out of his mouth. You have our number, Tyson Fury.
Are you interested in a Tyson Fury Drew McIntyre showdown?
Do you know what? And I know this will upset a lot of wrestling purists who just want to see just the wrestlers doing the wrestling. But yes, I am. I think at Cardiff, there's two options for Drew. It's Drew and Roman, right? And I know I said I want Roman to hold the belt for the year in a bit, but more that pop of the 3 count in a sold out Principality. Drew beats Roman in Cardiff. Be phenomenal. If you're not going to do that, fine. Give us Drew versus Tyson Fury.
And it'll be bowling shoe ugly bag old.
It would be minging, but the entrances would be amazing.
Oh my God, I forgot about his entrance in Saudi Arabia.
You should have seen his one at Wembley. He came out on a throne.
Sex on fire. Whoa, my sex is on fire.
Get some cream for that. But the entrances, the stare down. Everything else would be garbage, but it's all about that, isn't it? It's all about that. That's what the wrestling is all about. More news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.